Hebron in the West Bank is split in two. 80% of the city is under Palestinian control, designated as H1. 20% is controlled by Israel, the so-called H2. In H2, 40,000 Palestinians live among 800 Israeli settlers protected by 650 Israeli soldiers. Around 4,200 Palestinian students in Hebron face checkpoints, intimidation and harassment on their way to school. Hebron is the only Palestinian city where Israeli settlements and enclaves are inside the city itself. Entire areas of the Israeli-controlled H2 have been closed off or restricted to protect settlers. The bulk of Shuhada Street, once the Old Town bustling market, is a sterile zone where Palestinians are not even allowed to walk, in spite of their houses still being there. Waed, 13 years old, has always lived here. Every morning, she doesn't know when and if she will be able to reach her class.
When I go to school, every day I face lots of challenges. There are lots of soldiers there. They search us every day, and I always arrive late.
Waed attends a Kurtuba primary school. In front of the gate stands a checkpoint that we weren't allowed to film. A settlement is just across the street. Because of the pressure students are exposed to, Kurtuba is included in the Better Learning program, financed by EU humanitarian aid and implemented by the Norwegian Refugee Council.
This year we're targeting 80 schools in the West Bank. And in these most vulnerable schools, we find that approximately 20% have been heavily traumatized. The results are really promising because usually, on average, 2/3 of the children go down from having 4 nightmares per week to 0 nightmares.
Relaxation exercises teachers have been trained on help students to enhance focus and concentration. The program also comprises learning groups for underachieving students and private or group sessions with trained counselors for children with trauma-induced nightmares.
When I started the program, I learned how to control my anger and how to overcome challenges. I also got better results at school.
The EU works worldwide to guarantee safe and continued access to education. In areas like Hebron, it's hard, said the local EU official. We met her in a cemetery through which Kurtuba students walk to avoid checkpoints.
Well, according to the UN, there's an estimated 38,000 children who are exposed to conflict-related violence in Area C, which is the area controlled by the Israeli authorities in Palestinian territory. You have also approximately 50 schools in the same area, Area C, that remains at risk of demolition.
And why has this crisis needed the EU support?
For the EU, we believe that education is a basic human right, but also, of course, because of the impact that the violations are having on children, on their safe access to school.
Students living in H2 start and end school earlier to limit any friction with settlers. Waed is used to walking along old walls and on roofs to go back home. Her father has lived here for decades.
Daily life is difficult. An attack can occur at any time. The settlers might use pepper spray against us. They can attack us with cars, and our children too.
Arrests of minors are among the most common incidents in Hebron around and inside schools. Today, over 200 children are detained in Israeli prisons. 21 are from Hebron. The youngest child arrested last year was 6.
From Israel's perspective, Palestinian minors are just another aspect of managing the occupation.
Can we say that education is under attack in Hebron and in the West Bank?
All aspects of Palestinian lives are exposed. Everything is under arbitrary decisions of Israelis.
School as a safe place is still not granted in Hebron and in the West Bank. Here, children like Wyatt grow watching security cameras on TV rather than movies.